Hi, I'm Christy Reimer with Veterinary Economics Magazine and DVM360.com. I'm here with Denise Tumblin, CPA, president and co-owner of Widget Tumblin and Associates. And Denise, I just wanted to ask you, we're doing a series on employee theft, and I was wondering if you have had any experience with employee theft or know when employee theft has occurred in practice, and you could tell us a little bit about what happened and how the practice owner dealt with it.
Well, I think unfortunately theft happens a lot. I think it happens a lot more than people realize. There are some really scary fraud statistics out there. 7% of revenue is lost to theft each year, and it's mostly asset misappropriation. So it absolutely happens. And I think in veterinary practice, the two biggest ways it typically happens is either theft of inventory or theft of cash. Some specific examples, of course, it's real easy for inventory to walk out the door, but in terms of cash, people get really creative about how to steal cash. So, for example, clients might actually pay the bill to the veterinary hospital, but if they're paying in cash, the employee pockets the cash, and then they either mark that the account was paid and finagle the book so that it shows, well, yes, there maybe was a problem with the balancing at the end of the day, but somehow they managed to create a story that seems reasonable for why that's off. Some other really creative things that have happened. I had one client who had an employee who was telling the clients when they were writing checks to not fill in the pay to, because they had a stamp and they were going to stamp the practice name on it. And instead, what the employee did was write her name in, and then she deposited the money in her account. And then, so that it wasn't found out, she actually went into the client's record and changed the mailing address so that when the invoices were sent out, it wasn't going anywhere. So it was months before the client didn't know, they had paid their bill and they weren't getting the invoices because the employee had changed the mailing address. So it was quite a few months before they finally realized what this person was doing. I think far too often nothing does happen. They catch people or they suspect people and don't really have the proof. And sometimes those employees leave of their own accord and they go off and they do it at the next business, or they do get caught. And again, it's so costly and time consuming for the practice to pursue it, it's easier to just let that person go away. And then again, unfortunately, they often go back and do it at a different business. So it's a huge, huge problem. One of the other, we talked about 7% of revenue being lost to theft. For small businesses, that amounts to about $200,000 a year. So it's huge. It really is huge.